We start this Friday afternoon with a shooting in the heart of downtown Denver.
It happened on Colfax and Broadway right next to the state capitol, and police say a woman got caught in the crossfire. Police say they got a shot spotter alert around 1:15 this afternoon, and police say a woman got hurt when two suspects fired shots at each other. The suspects ran from the scene before police arrived. We do not know that female victim's condition. Police said she should be okay. Nobody has been arrested in this case, and police do not have a suspect description.
First, there were 10, now they're down to 5. DPS has cut down the list of recommended school closures the board will vote on next week.
Now the parents and the teachers inside those remaining schools are questioning why they were not so lucky, and they're ready to speak out at a special meeting on Monday that could last well into Tuesday morning. In the meantime, the superintendent sat down today with 9 News reporter Steve Steger to talk through the situation that the district now finds themselves in.
Yeah, we talked to staff and a parent at one of those schools still on the list today, and they say it seems that parents who were the most vocal were able to save their schools. The superintendent says it certainly wasn't a matter of passion. It boils down to dollars and cents, and just because a school isn't on the list right now doesn't necessarily mean it's safe from closure.
We don't want to see Schmidt go away.
Paige Butler wants her son Emery to experience the same school generations of Emery's family has. She didn't take the news Thursday well.
Our community matters too. We want Schmidt to stay open just as much as the other schools.
Neither did Amy Bergner.
We know that we have less parents that feel comfortable speaking out, and the schools that were saved had very vocal parent groups.
She's in a unique spot, teaching 5th grade at Schmidt, which is still on the list for closure, but living in the neighborhood around Columbian Elementary, which got removed from the list Thursday night. A neighborhood where there are still lawn signs showing just how vocal this community was.
It felt like because they didn't feel comfortable speaking out, that Schmidt was left on the list.
This was my attempt on prioritizing the top 5.
DPS Superintendent Dr. Alex Marrero says that vocal parents had nothing to do with this.
I simply just listed them by the amount it costs us to run those schools with additional assistance from the top down.
Schmidt Elementary is a small school with 148 enrolled students. The district has to supplement the low enrollment to the tune of $683,000 each year to keep it functioning. The second most expensive school on the original list of 10.
I feel like our staff works really hard to make sure our kids don't miss out. To supplement the lack of funding from the district, we have reached out to get grants.
The good argument that I've heard from parents and from educators is that's not in my school. They have a robust education. That may be the case, but if we can no longer subsidize that school, then it won't be the case.
Marrero says there's a good chance the school board doesn't approve these closures. We're already hearing from 3 school board members who are opposed. That's not going to eliminate the need to take some kind of action, and he says the district has an obligation to the voters not to go into debt. So something has to be done, guys. The question is, what will that be if the school board says no?
So this meeting that's scheduled for Monday, they've had this on the calendar longer than they've dropped down the number of schools from 10 to 5. So the parents who are in schools now that can stay open, do they get to talk Monday, or is this just for the school closure schools?
So this is a public comment session. There was some confusion today because the school district sent out a note that sounded like the teachers or the parents from the schools that were taken off the list weren't going to be allowed to speak. The district is clarifying that if you were signed up by that point on Thursday, you absolutely have the right to speak, which should help in the case of Schmidt Elementary, because a lot of the teachers and parents there say the vocal teachers and parents from the other schools were planning on speaking out on behalf of Schmidt. So if you are on that list, you can still speak out. The district wanted to clarify that.
I know one thing, that'll be a very long meeting on Monday, and then such, an important, hard decision that those council members or the school board, is going to have to make on Thursday.
Absolutely.
Steve, thank you.
Yep.
So what are thoughts in one district are actions in another. Last night, the Jefferson County School District voted to close 16 elementary schools after years of declining enrollment in that district. Before the board vote, parents vented their frustrations. They claimed that these closures impact too many students of color and students with disabilities. Superintendent Tracy Dorland says the campuses that are closing have low enrollment and low building usage. Colorado Elementary School is one of those schools. It will send its 200 students to nearby Powderhorn Elementary, who will now prepare to increase its population and welcome a new community.
And I'm looking forward in the months ahead to plan for a year ahead so that we have a really successful transition where all students feel seen, valued, heard, and connected each day when they come to the school.
The principal is anticipating an increase in the staff as well to accommodate the higher student numbers. The teachers union president says the closures will now impact 422 jobs across those 16 schools. She hopes some teachers will follow their students to their new buildings or find a place somewhere else in the district. Either way, she says by law, each of those teachers will have to reapply and re-interview to keep their jobs. 15 of those 16 schools will close next year. The last one will close in 2024.
This year marks 26 years since JonBenet Ramsey was killed. Her murder is still unsolved. Her father says police could solve the case if they tested a key piece of evidence. 6-year-old JonBenet was found beaten and strangled in her Boulder home the day after Christmas, 1986. Boulder police shared a recap of the investigation this week. They also said the remaining pieces of DNA evidence in the case will not be tested because testing could destroy the evidence. But John Ramsey says that is a big mistake. He thinks the evidence could lead to his daughter's killer.
Why in the world you wouldn't test them now, given that the technology has advanced dramatically in 25 years, is I don't understand that.
Ramsey says he sent a letter to Governor Jared Polis about a month ago asking him to ensure that the remaining DNA evidence in the case is tested by a private lab with the latest technology. Ramsey says he has not heard back from the governor's office yet. Let's get you a live look outside right now, the 9 News studios. It's a beautiful shot. Golden hour, right? Just beautiful out there, but really cold around the metros. Let's check in with Kathy for a look at our forecast here on this Friday, this weekend. I put on an extra coat, like it's cold.
It's pretty and sunny, Kathy, but
I got a question. Did you say golden hour or happy hour?
Well, not for us. Yes. Unfortunately, it's not happy hour, but soon.
It's Friday, girls.
somebody wants to drop off a drink. I'm not going to say no.
Just saying. It is beautiful outside, but my goodness, when you went outdoors today, if you were not prepared with a jacket and a sweater, that cold just kind of smacked you right in the face. We were in the teens this morning and didn't get out of the 30s this afternoon. And that's just a preview of what we've got for you in the extended forecast. So clearing skies tonight, one storm drop into the south, another one taking shape, moving into the Pacific Northwest that we're keeping an eye on. A clear night, light winds, good radiational cooling, and lots of snow in the high country. So if you're going skiing at one of the resorts that have opened recently, you should have a great weekend up there. These are your current temperatures. Looks like a low temperature map. Denver's at 36 degrees right now, 38 in Greeley, 35 in Eagle, 27 degrees currently in Steamboat. Winds are a lot lighter, which is always good. The wind makes people crabby, and the wind in this case makes it feel colder. We have mid-30s now, temperatures dropping below freezing after 7 o'clock. Coming up in Maine weather, it is going to be clear tonight, but very cold, as cold or colder than last night, which means single digits and teens. Mild on Saturday, but the polar plunge taking aim at us next week. I'll detail that extended forecast, you guys, coming up.
All right, thank you, Kathy. Today is Veterans Day, and we have several guests in the studio to help us honor all the veterans out there. First, we're going to have a veteran and his service dog joining us.
And then later on, we have mental health expert on health care for veterans and why it is just so important. But first, let's check in with Chris Bianchi out live at us for King Supers today.
Yeah, exactly. I'm out here at the King Supers at Federal and Bellevue talking about the start of the 9 Shares Colorado Cares event. I'll have details on that coming up after the break.